Good morning. Welcome into Sports Sunday right here on 1080 The Fan, the Odyssey app, 99.5 HD2, YouTube, and Twitch for the kids. I am Joe Fisher III. Across the faux marble table, as always, is Rashad Taylor.
Heidi ho, campers.
Hiya.
Hiya.
And across the glass is Jordan Schultz. I went golfing yesterday, and I think there was 3 or 4 different heavyweight references out on the course from the movie Heavyweights.
Hey, listen,
One of the most quotable movies of all time.
100%. If you're too young, because I can imagine there are some
I feel like
25s and 27s listening right now, but go back and watch Heavyweights. Number one, as a Ben Stiller movie,
it's so good.
that might be one of his funniest and most quotable movies that he's had.
Well, I think he got the inspiration for his character in Dodgeball. What's his name in Dodgeball?
White Goodman.
Yeah, White Goodman. He got the inspiration of that role from his heavyweight role.
Well,
Uncle Tony.
They say that Tony Perkis really ended up becoming White Goodman. Changed his, he had that whole debacle at the kids camp. Had to change up his image. Had to change up everything.
It's all in the same universe.
And listen, White Goodman is the fakest name that anybody could make up.
Yeah, White.
Seriously.
White good man.
WHIT.
Yeah.
E.
Tony Perkis.
Play on words, obviously.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one absolutely White Goodman. Yeah. So it's one of those things. There's the theory out there that Tony Perkis is indeed White Goodman. They both had issues with food and overeating and stuff like that, and which is why they kind of transformed their body. They were both overly obsessed with people being healthy and depriving people of food and the whole thing. Yes, Tony Perkis is indeed White Goodman.
I'm trying to think of the references from yesterday. So yeah, at one point we did the hiya. My buddy, he drops the all you need is Mother Earth, Father Sky, and your dear old Uncle Tony.
Your dear old Uncle Tony.
Oh God. Oh look, a deli meat.
I might have to check that movie out later on.
Oh my God.
What a weekend you had.
That movie is great. Yeah, the weekend still continues, my man.
Well, it's extra long, right?
I'll take it.
I got a nap planned today.
Ooh.
Oh, I had a good one yesterday.
My Sunday nap.
Oh man,
I still taste
glorious.
the wine from yesterday.
You do some wine tasting?
Yes, actually, lots of wine tasting. There's a beautiful cave wine bar here in Portland. You guys got to check it out. It's a perfect go-to spot to take
in
the
a
ladies.
cave?
It is literally set in a cave, and if you walked by it, it's on Alberta, and if you walked by it and didn't actually know where you were going, you would totally miss
The
it.
waiters just grunt
There's a
at
cave
you.
on Alberta.
Yes, it's
Oh my
like
gosh,
under
man.
it's under an old
Gentrification is
building.
crazy.
Pinot Chardonnay.
They
Pinot
put a
Chardonnay.
cave, a hotel on Alberta. Like, what are we doing?
No, it's really nice. No, seriously, just it's easy to get drunk down there, but also a good place to keep an eye out on. You need a date spot, go.
Is it called Les Caves and Les Clos?
That is a spot, but no, we did not go to that one. It's a newer one called Bar Nina.
Bar Nina.
Bar Nina. It's really nice. Really nice place.
Well, Rashad was breaking the law last night.
Ooh.
I break multiple laws.
Breaking
Sorry,
the law,
breaking
the law.
Yeah, not to disrespect any of our Portland's finest, but
But also, you telling me what you did, I was like, well, I feel like that's something that you can basically get away with some of the things that are done in public.
probably
in the city.
now. Yeah, probably now.
You know
It's
what's
a little
funny?
more.
The more put together you look in doing what you did, that is grounds for a cop talking to you. But
for
dear
sure.
God, if you look
for
run
sure.
down,
If I was just sitting on the curb or something like that, then nobody would have a
but
problem.
if you're run down, no shoes, possibly dirty,
They don't care.
holes in your pants.
got a nice suit on, they're like, whoa, sir, what's going on here?
Yeah, but you and the lady had a nice little night.
Oh, yeah, it was real old school. So like I said, I took a glorious nap, way longer than I was supposed to. I missed most of the game. I woke up, saw the score, and said, I guess I didn't miss anything, and went right back.
No.
You were fine.
And went right back to sleep. But I got up, and it was like 8:30. I was like, holy hell, like, sleep for that long? So, of course, the wife was mad. We missed the whole beautiful day, and it was really nice out yesterday. So I didn't get a chance to do that. But
Gorgeous.
I was like, well, shoot, the night's not over. Like, we can still get up and do something, but didn't really know what to do. Let's just get a bottle and let's go ahead and just walk around downtown and see what's up, man. and just did it old school.
So
you know?
public drinking by Rashad Taylor.
Public drinking. But
In
aren't
the
we
city of
always?
Portland.
But if we go to any bar, aren't we drinking publicly there?
Well, yeah, but you can't just be walking around
course
the
you
city
can.
with a bottle in your hand,
Man, we can
brown
do.
bagging
I
it.
can do heroin on the street. I can absolutely
Well,
have.
Yeah, this is
a
Portland.
drink
Technically,
of-
you can.
You can here.
I don't think
you definitely can.
You get a. I don't think you can anymore. I was gonna say I think
They did lift that
I was
ordinance.
gonna say that law that they're like we're exactly like Portugal. We can pull this off.
Yeah, what is it?
Semantics.
Decriminalization
Yeah.
of hard drugs. No,
Yeah.
we stopped. that
Yeah,
one.
semantics.
We're like we might have messed up. on
Has
that one,
anybody
guys.
stopped anything? Have you seen anything change since that happened?
Well,
Yeah,
well, now my
exactly.
question is, and this could be a grounds for a ticket and a court date, is what were you drinking?
Oh, whiskey.
What kind of whiskey?
It's just some makers.
Alright, That's acceptable.
I'm a big makers guy.
If it was like some Old Crow or something like that.
Like
that'd
some
be like
some Seagrams.
straight to
or
jail.
Some
HRD
Seagrams or
whiskey.
something like that. They make HRD whiskey?
I thought they did.
Ugh.
At least at one point. The $7 a handle HRD vodka, I'm
was
pretty sure,
buying
had a
that?
whiskey twin. 20-year-olds in college that needed to get
Yuck.
12 people drunk for $7.
Yuck. Ugh.
Well, that is HRD's made by Hood River Distillers,
Yes,
Distillery.
sir.
which they
Local,
actually
local.
do have some good stuff.
It's not all ass.
No, they got Trails End whiskey. That's a good one. Fourth West whiskey. I've had that before. That's pretty solid. Timberline vodka. So yeah, I don't know what the cheap stuff is though that they're rocking with.
I mean, do you think they even put that on their website? That just
No.
belongs on the bottom
No, that's a
shelf of the
special
liquor
menu
store,
type
brother.
thing. You got to ask for it.
I'm on the
Yeah,
all.
it's like animal fries at In-N-Out. Like it's not on the menu. You just got to ask for it. They'll give it to you.
Oh yeah, our value brands. That's what they call it on their website.
Yeah.
And you have to
And then
dig
you-
for that.
And then you click on it, and it goes to the page, and it says, "We couldn't find the page you were looking for.
Yeah.
There is an error in the URL."
You got to
That's
give
too
a code.
embarrassed.
You know,
They just-
you have to give a secret code
They
when
don't
you go
even
and ask for it.
They don't want anybody to look at that. They're like,
Pikachu. Oh, right this way, and then they give it to you.
We're sorry we make this.
But yeah, I was out on the golf course. I did some drinking too. Do you know what Pink Whitney is?
I do not.
Dude, it's god awful. It's
Is that a drink?
It's these. I think it was like the Barstool Bros came out with it.
Oh, no.
The hockey Barstool Bros, the Spittin' Chicklets guys. But it's a I don't even know what it is. It's a pink lemonade flavor vodka.
No, pass.
And luckily for us, yeah, you can see it right here. It's
That looks like a headache.
yeah, it was very sugary. But my buddy, he bought like an 8-pack. You know those like how you can get the what is it? What's the cinnamon whiskey?
A fireball.
Oh, fireball.
Yeah, you can buy those like Fireball packs, those eight packs of the
Yeah.
small bottles.
Yes,
He brought
sir.
one of those,
Little nips.
and then I had a flask of whiskey. And luckily for us, there was 4 birdies out on the golf course. So every birdie, you got to take a shot. And we drank all that Pink Whitney, plus some of the whiskey, plus beers and White Claw, cheeseburger,
Yeah. It's normal.
4
white guy
bong
weekend.
hits, man.
It's a normal white guy weekend, man.
Jägermeister. Yeah, it was great. It was a great day. I was drinking on the grounds of a place that allowed me to drink, so I was not breaking the law. Rashad,
I mean,
I
I was
a good-
downtown, so
I was a good
technically,
citizen.
I don't think I was breaking any laws either. I'm pretty sure I might have been, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say I wasn't for the sake of people listening on this show. I'm a law-abiding citizen, guys. Like I don't go out there and
No.
break laws intentionally.
This segment would say the otherwise, that you are not a law.
I
abiding citizen.
am. Man, name me a person that never walked around pre-funking just outside. We all have. We all do it.
I mean, yeah, they're okay. I'll admit it here on the air because it's like what 15 plus years past the the statute of limitations. I think it was 20. Walking around like 2 a.m. University of Oregon campus after a Ducks win against Arizona State with one of those mini Heineken kegs on my shoulders, just giving people drinks. It was fun, ladies specifically.
You remember that? I remember those Heineken kegs. Do they still sell
Yeah.
those?
No, I think they do, but you gotta look really, really hard. But you can't find them at the general grocery store,
Is that
unfortunately.
even allowed?
I mean,
anymore?
God, they were like $20 and one of the best purchases I feel like you could make if you were going to a party.
It's like the
No, those were legit.
It's like the box of wine of beer.
It was
Seriously.
so great. And I literally, man, dude, at 20 years old, you're like, can I have a drink? Like, yeah, it was the best night.
Yeah, you were definitely the life of the party
It-
if you came in with the keg on your shoulder.
Absolutely.
5-liter keg of Heineken. I think it looks like it's still sold in places.
Yes, I would go buy that today. It's Memorial Day weekend. We got burgers in the fridge ready to grill. Get some Heineken keg action with that. Yes, please.
Yeah, that's you know what, that's a good question to leave up to the text line 503-864-6326. What is on the Memorial Day menu today and or tomorrow? What are you cooking up? What are you grilling? If you are grilling, what are you making in general? It wasn't technically Memorial Day weekend, but I think it was Thursday night. I made some fantastic fajita burritos. I haven't had fajitas in a while with like the bell
Fajitas are-
peppers.
What kind of
and,
meat do you use?
Chicken.
Always
Classic.
great.
Pollo.
Always great.
Give me that polo, please.
I'm a steak guy. Oh, I'll say this. I got a chance to go to one of my favorite places, and you guys, it's a California kind of West Coast thing. But have you ever been to El Pollo Loco?
Yes.
I've heard of
It's
it.
good.
Yeah, it's
The crazy chicken.
yeah, it's one of my favorite like fast food spots like ever. But it's just basically I don't know why there isn't more grilled chicken available at like why doesn't Popeyes or KFC or somebody offer a grilled chicken? KFC used to do like a baked one, which was awesome. But a Pollo Loco is super, super great. But man, the fajitas actually sound fire right now. If I'm
Dude,
being
it was
honest.
great.
Yeah, that's
again,
a good one.
Joey, my son, he's a little, well, he's 12, so of course
Picky.
he's picky. But he doesn't he likes bell peppers if they're not cooked, just crisp, clean, raw bell
Really?
peppers, which
Okay.
those are fantastic. I can munch on a bell pepper like an apple. But cooked though, he doesn't like them cooked. So for the longest time, I haven't made fajitas because I know he was going to be a little bitch about it. Just peppers.
Ugh,
I don't want to
these.
eat the peppers.
Yeah,
And I'm like, well, this
Fickle
time
kids, man.
you're effing eating the peppers. And so, yeah, I had fajitas and it was fantastic. I got another one on the text line, marinated chicken. What's the marinade,
Yes.
though?
Yeah.
Marinade is a big umbrella statement. I want to know, what is the marinade? What is that consists of?
Well, like lemon pepper, teriyaki. We going like Italian. What are you doing?
Yeah,
so many
exactly.
options.
I'm
Yeah.
a big jerk guy.
Yeah.
I love
Jerk
I love
chicken.
jerk. Jerk chicken is amazing to me. I haven't perfected it yet. I'm working on it. Haven't perfected it yet.
If anybody loves a good jerk, it's Rashad Taylor.
Oh man, it's one of my favorite. Ask around.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of chicken, actually, as we're talking about like good grilled chicken, Rashad, the food at your wedding comes to mind, man. That chicken, still probably, well, what are we, like 2+ years out? Still some of the best
Oh,
chicken I've had
It's
since
not even
then,
a
man.
year. It's not even a year. That was.
Was that
June
really
1st?
time? Dude, time
coming
feels
up,
like
yeah.
it's just passing
It's
even
getting close.
faster.
What was that,
1st?
July, August?
No, it's June 1st. So that's
Okay,
like,
so a
it's-
year.
it's
All right,
like-
well, my bad.
It's like 2 weeks. It's like a week away.
I'm glad I
Yeah.
overguessed instead of underguessed.
Next Sunday, I think, will be a year.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, next Sunday. But no, you want to hear come something crazy? Didn't even get a chance to eat.
That's usually how it
Didn't
goes.
even
right?
get a chance
Yeah,
to eat.
that'll-
Like I was just
that'll
around,
happen.
hanging out. Like as soon as the nuptials were over, we took some pictures. It was like cool party time. I went to my car because I had was gonna do some more public drinking, and I had some whiskey in the car. And then I saw my new cousin at that point, and we start talking and drinking. And then all of a sudden, there's just a circle of people. And I was like, well, I guess this is where the party is. I didn't dance. I don't think I got a chance to dance at the wedding. So yeah, I don't know what the food tastes like. I'm glad it was good though. I'm glad y'all enjoyed the food. I actually got to try to find whoever I don't even know who the caterer was. I don't think we ever met.
Well,
Seriously.
they killed the chicken.
I don't think
So,
they ever met.
everything was good, but as we're talking about chicken, I'm just like, oh my god,
Yeah,
I need some of that perfect
You're like the third
succulent
person
flavor.
to tell me that, and I was like, man, I have no idea who that person was.
All right, this person texted in what their marinade was: spicy teriyaki with pineapple, heavy on the garlic, my man. And the secret ingredient, molasses. Whoa.
Can I come over to their house
Are we
for
grilling?
a Super Bowl or something?
I assume
Let's
we're
go.
grilling all that.
I would
Yeah,
hope
yeah,
it's
yeah. I
a,
assume-
a
yeah.
grilled chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Garlic
my
comes
God.
through really well off the grill.
Dude, I
So,
love garlic.
Yeah.
It is,
Mhm.
oh my god.
It can be a little strong
Oh,
at
no.
certain points, but other than that, like man,
With
garlic
meat, I don't think so.
I don't think you can ever have enough garlic in any dish.
I don't know about that.
Just keep dumping it
Yeah,
in there.
Just more garlic.
Just go. All right, let's get into some sports stuff. But still, this is a Memorial Day weekend episode. So, one, thank you to everybody who served and the soldiers that we lost over the many years of different wars we have been in. Appreciate everybody out there. So if you do have someone in your life like that, make sure to take a moment to thank them. This is the first year in my life that my grandfather is not with us anymore, Vietnam War veteran. So I've been thinking about him this weekend. But also with that, celebrate those people by grilling something good, cooking something good, and texting us in what you were grilling this weekend.
Not no BS today either. Not no BS tomorrow. You can keep the burgers and the hot dogs in the house.
No. We got to go all out.
Yeah, unless you got 3 or 5 year olds, you can keep the hot dogs. Hot dogs. I'm not saying links and brats and everything like that, but if you have hot dogs out tomorrow, then expect nobody to come over.
We got like good stuffed burgers.
That's
like
fine.
Like the where you put bacon and cheddar in them, or you
be
infuse stuff in them.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be your main character though.
I mean, there's 2 of us, brother.
Yeah.
So I don't know what do you want us to cook up like for 7 people and then just have... I'm already fat. I don't need to leave that in the fridge and tempt myself all week after this.
But a nice spicy teriyaki marinade with extra garlic, and molasses, might go hard on the grill. Just saying.
All right, let's do some sports. We got some conference finals to talk about. We got a matchup today. We've got a matchup from last night that poses a question to me. We have some awards that were handed out this week. I'm sure we'll figure out the other segments as we go along. But wanted to talk about these conference finals because they are just exactly what we needed. We get to that next here. Sports Sunday, 1080 The Fan.
Hey, it's Dirt here for Crunch Fitness.
Sports Sunday with Rashad and Joe on Portland's Sports Leader, 1080 The Fan.
Western Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals in full swing in the NBA. And this is exactly what we need, Rashad. I say this because when I look at these matchups and these teams and the players that are in it, it is definitely some fresh blood. And I don't know if I can find one person that is unlikable on these teams. Like, and to me, there's a lot.
I
There-
can.
Well, I already know where you're going with it. You're a huge.
I think there's more than
you're a huge Anthony
just
Edwards
one.
fan.
No, I love Ant. I think he's immature, but continue. Yeah.
But when I look at these teams, it's just again there is really isn't anybody on either of these teams where like personally where I'm like, God, I just hate that guy, or God, I hate his game, or he is so annoying. Like, and when I look at the East, like the Pacers, obviously they're up 2-0. They in order for them to not go to the NBA Finals, the Knicks would have to do something that no team has ever done, and that's come back from an 0-2 hole after losing the first 2 games at home in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's happened 6 times before, as we talked about last week, but it has never happened in a conference finals. But the Pacers, like Tyrese Halliburton, all he does is just get dumped on for being overrated, and then he's had an awesome playoff run. Pascal Siakam in Game 2, just absolutely balling out. Miles Turner, one of the most underrated players in the league. Nesmith and Nembhard, like, just get after it, guys, defensively. TJ McConnell, like that whole team is just like that whole team is built on just being like, you are not giving us our proper credit and our kudos, and we're just gonna outrun you, outwork you, and we're gonna show you why you shouldn't have taken us so lightly. So I just love that team. The Knicks, like I like Jalen Brunson. I think Karl Anthony Towns, he just gets made fun of, but his game is absolutely
It's
amazing.
he's
Like,
arguably the best
love him.
big in the league.
dude,
Arguably, yeah.
he is. There's a reason why he was chosen number 1 overall in the draft that he came out in. Mitchell Robinson just gets every offensive rebound. Josh Hart, being a guard, goes after every rebound possible.
Never should have been traded.
So like there's a lot of dudes on the Eastern Conference and then on the Western Conference too. Like, you know,
Who doesn't love Shea Gilgeous-Alexander?
I mean, the only thing that people have against him right now is the free throw merchant, which kind of did, show itself in Game 1, and we'll get to that later in the show here.
That's
But-
the least of their concerns for Game 3.
I would say that like maybe if you want to find like the most unlikable person out of all these teams, again, even on the like OKC, it's like I don't really have beef with anybody on there.
No.
I would say for maybe the number 1 most unlikable player and less in these playoffs is like Rudy Gobert.
That's the name I was gonna say. I wasn't gonna say Anthony Edwards because I actually love Anthony Edwards' game.
Yep.
I think Anthony Edwards is going to be one of those ones in the league. I think he's super immature, but I don't really. Outside of that, like I don't have an issue with Ant-Man. But you're absolutely right, Joe. Like up and down each roster are a bunch of guys that you would want to root for. Like I always have this thing, and you guys probably noticed it. Like I like underdogs. I like the people that everybody kind of craps on. I kind of because I know what it's like to be that guy, and so I always like to see those dudes be in positions to win and be in positions to like do great things. Like everybody on Indiana was passed over. Somebody didn't want them for the most part. Like Miles Turner might be the only person there that's
But he was involved in possible trade talks and
all
trade
the time,
rumors
like
for
every
a few
year,
years now.
every
so.
year almost. The Sacramento didn't want Tyrese Halliburton. They felt like Sabonis would be a better idea. Siakam, Toronto was like, oh, we're not going to pay you this type of money, so we're going to go ahead and let you go. All these guys are people that nobody really saw coming, but we probably should have seen it coming because who was in the conference finals last year for the East?
It was the Pacers.
It was the Pacers.
And there was a couple close games.
Who
in
was
that
in the
conference
play-in? Who was in the first not play-in, but the first like NBA Cup?
finals. IST.
Yeah, who was in that last year
That
for the
was
first year?
the Pacers and the Lakers.
Right? So this has kind of been a slow burn for Indiana, but we've watched them for the past couple of years do what they're doing. I absolutely love the Knicks. The only reason I don't want the Knicks to win and I'm actively rooting against them is because I hate New York fans. Nothing to do with that team. I love that team. I love Jalen Brunson. I do think he holds onto the ball for too long, but we'll talk about that once we get there. But I love that team up and down. Cat is just fun to make fun of, but we all know he's kind of that guy when he's out there, especially when he shows his heart a little bit. So you love that team. You love OG Anunoby and those guys. It's hard to dislike them. On the other side, I think OKC might be the most likable team that we've ever seen. I don't know if we've ever seen a team that we all just unanimously kind of like, yeah, he's cold. Yeah, we like him. Jalen Williams is kind of nice. Okay, Shea is that guy. I do love Chet, man. Hartenstein is kind of everybody on that team is likable. The only person out there that, again, is probably like, man, don't like this dude is Rudy Gobert. Just
quite
because
honestly-
he's kind of soft and he's good.
But also, yeah, and again, like, you have to respect his defensive game.
100%.
And also, he hasn't really done much in this series either, like, to, like, say that he is a huge threat. Like, he had, 4 points in game 1, 2 points in game 2, or something like that. I'm not going to lie, I did not watch yesterday's game because I was out on the golf course, but as Rashad mentioned, not like I missed much. So I don't know what his final line was or what that looked like offensively, but again,
7 points.
there you go. I mean, like,
Tight.
again, and he's never been an offensive, like, threat, right? The game he had earlier in the playoffs where he scored 29 points on 22 rebounds or whatever the hell it was like, what is this? But, yeah, again, it's just like, and another thing as far as, this is what we needed is all this just new blood and new faces out there. Like, look, no LeBron, no Steph. I mean, Jason Tatum, as young as he is, he's been in Eastern Conference Finals and deep playoff runs for the last 7 years now. I love seeing these new faces of the NBA be the last remaining 4 teams. Like, hey, this is the future. Like, sorry, NBA, we do need to get used to a world without LeBron and without Steph Curry because that day will be coming here soon.
It's the changing of the guard.
Well,
This is officially the NBA's changing of the guard. You look around right now, and you just mentioned it. LeBron James is sitting at home watching. So is Steph. So is KD. So is James Harden. So is Westbrook. So is Jokic. So it's all these stars that we've had in the NBA for the past 10 years, 20 years that have kind of led everything. Even the younger stars, the Devin Bookers of the world, they're all sitting at home watching this new generation of talent, be able to kind of take the mantle. So I think it's an awesome thing. It was kind of that thing in the 90s, once Jordan officially retired and you see San Antonio win for the first time. Ooh, that's new and exciting, right? Hadn't seen that. And the next year, the Lakers and the young Kobe and youngest Shaq, they start, winning really like that. And then you start seeing all these, Miami come out of nowhere and Detroit come and get one. So I think this is that time that we're starting to see these other faces of the NBA kind of take their place as the top of the league. These are really the superstars. I don't want to hear the fact that Tyrese Halliburton isn't a superstar anymore. Any player that gets his team to the conference finals 2 years in a row, has made an all-star team, has won a gold medal.
Hitting clutch buckets, leading comebacks.
How many? I think they've got 4 comebacks just in these playoffs, and he's got 3 game winners, just within this playoff run. That is superstar-ish. So, yes, Tyrese Halliburton is 100% a superstar. And if you're going to say that he's not a superstar, but a Chris Paul's never averaged 25.
That was a whole different era, but you're
Yeah,
right.
but I'm saying, like,
Whole different era.
if that's what we're classifying a superstar as, somebody that averages 23, 20, 25 points, and there's a lot of guys. Jason Kidd has to come off. He wasn't a superstar. Chris Paul wasn't a superstar. John Stockton wasn't a superstar. If that's how it is, then that has to be the criteria for everybody. But Tyrese Halliburton is a 6'5" point guard that can finish at the rim, can obviously make clutch shots. He is among these superstars in the league right now, and he's showing it.
Pacers can get it done basically with anybody. It's not just Tyrese Halliburton. I think that's the interesting thing about them. If it weren't for Aaron Nesmith in Game 2, or Game 1, excuse me, they unbelievable. Just it's like what was the meme going around on social media? They forgot to tell the Pacers that the game is ending. Like they just keep on going, and then Pascal Siakam in Game 2, like every single game, it seems like Halliburton's there, but somebody else is stepping up for the Pacers. And really quickly, it's interesting that you point out like all these teams just kind of showing up out of nowhere. It's almost like that Hollywood star or that music star that you see all of a sudden get their big break, and they're just there every single day. We see them in the news.
Jelly Roll all of a sudden.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, where did Jelly Roll come from? Where did Sabrina Carpenter come from? But it's not quite that simple. All of those stars have been building, like Sabrina Carpenter was on Girl Meets World. Jelly Roll was doing mall gigs for years where we didn't know about it. And I compare that to like, well, these teams have kind of been on the up and coming for the last few years. We just now are getting to see this explosion of talent. SGA's been like whispered as a possible MVP candidate. Now he is MVP. Hartenstein, who was on New York, now flipped to OKC, gives the ability to like basically give them two lineups with a big center in the middle if they need, or they can just swap out and put Chet Holmgren out and stretch everybody. Like, there's so many different reasons why all these teams are producing well now and to this point, but it has been a slow 3 or 4 year build of these teams, like the Pacers, like the Knicks with Jalen Brunson too, getting better.
Yeah, it's just been super refreshing watching these games, and how the games went the first two for New York and the Pacers, just the environment, the games themselves, how close they were. I mean, especially on the East side, the Western Conference. I mean, we've had essentially three blowout games.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the East, it's just seeing these teams and the emotion, the stakes, how high they are, and just the finishes that we've gotten in them, the performances that we've got. It's been very refreshing. Like, again, and we're going to get into it because Game 3 is today at 5:00 between the Knicks and Pacers. Is that seeing those two teams go at it, and
it's 1994 all over for me.
It has been awesome. But let's talk about Game 3 because the Knicks, they're in a position where they have to do something that no team has ever done before. We'll get to that next here, but first, Jordan Schultz with the SportsCenter update.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, the conference finals continuing in the NBA playoffs this weekend. It was all Minnesota all the time yesterday in their Game 3 win over the Oklahoma City Thunder, 143-101. The final, OKC does still lead that series 2-1, though. Big days for Anthony Edwards, 30 points to finish off, and Julius Randle, 24 points for him as well. Of course, coming up this afternoon, you got the Eastern Conference Finals Game 3 matchup with the Pacers hosting the Knicks and holding a 2-0 series lead. Indiana, a 1.5-point favorite in that one. Coverage gets going right here on 1080 The Fan at 4:30 p.m. Tip-off set for 5. You can watch that on TNT and Max. On to baseball. The Seattle Mariners dropping a game in Houston yesterday, 2-1, thanks to a throwing error from Brian Wu. Did pitch 6 innings with 5 strikeouts, had the 2 runs, though. Because of that error, they were not earned. They'll go for the series split this morning, 11:10 first pitch. Luis Castillo v. Colton Gordon for the Astros on the bump. And the Oregon Ducks get eliminated by Nebraska from the Big Ten baseball tournament with a 7-3 loss. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schultze from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now, Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's window into 1080 The Fan.
All right.
Baby. I think this is G Unit.
It is G Unit.
Yeah. And Joe.
I believe it is me.
Yeah.
Yes, I was on
Yeah.
this song. Still getting residuals, but I still, for some reason, need to do this show.
Hey man, this one's fun.
It's all right.
This is the only job I'll gladly wake up for at 8:00 or 7 something on a Sunday to get here.
Well,
For
if
sure.
I would stop going hard on Saturday nights, then it would make it a little bit easier for me.
I can't do that, Joe. I can't do that.
Your boy likes to get a little
Yeah.
wild.
I can't do that. I wish I could go softer on Saturdays, but it's the only day I really get to kick it. It's the only day I don't have a work event to do.
Me and the brown water.
Yeah.
We're too close.
I like it.
We're too good of friends. What were we talking about here? What's
Playoff
on,
basketball?
Basketball?
What's on
Yeah.
my list here? The New York Knicks, and I don't want to say their full. Yeah, I don't want to say their full name because it's you slip up on the C and K, and make it sound like a G, then you're in some trouble there.
Kaniga? What's
You're-
my man's name? Yeah,
Let's
Yeah.
not.
yeah, something like that.
Rashad could say it.
For sure.
Rashad's
sure.
in the clear.
Yeah.
So the Knicks, we talked about this last week. Not just teams to go down 2-0 in a series, but teams that had the first two games at home, they lost those two games and then were able to come back and still win the series. Because, I mean, you lose the first two games at home, you're just beaten, downtrodden mentally, just, God, we blew it.
That's tough.
We blew it.
That's
We
a tough
lost
one.
our two home games. Like, what are we doing, guys? And then come back to actually win the series. It's happened 6 times in NBA playoff history. I think one of those was like a 3-2, like a 5-game series. But regardless, it has never been done in the conference finals, though. It has happened in the first round. It has happened in the second round. But there has been no team ever to lose the first 2 games at home in a playoff series and then come back and win the series in either the Eastern or Western Conference Finals. And that is what the New York Knicks are up against. And it starts today against the Pacers, Game 3 on TNT. Can the Knicks defy the odds? Because, I mean, to their defense, the first 2 games were close. Now, the first game, you should have won. Plain and simple. Whether you want to call it a choke, not a choke, Aaron Nesmith just going God mode and hitting 18 threes in the fourth quarter, like just unreal set of circumstances for them to come back and win that game, the Pacers. But you lost it, and you should have won. You hit a couple free throws even down the stretch, Karl Anthony and OG, then that game is, I mean, if OG Anunoby hits the free throw at the end there,
Right.
Tyrese Halliburton's
It's easy to
two-pointer,
forget that.
That-
Doesn't matter.
and then it's a 1-point loss and game's over, and New York escapes. So, I mean, whether you want to say that was just an amazing comeback by the Pacers and that the Knicks couldn't do a whole lot about it, they definitely could, and they should have game 1. And quite frankly, after a game like that, that is something that just so mentally drains you that we had them. We were right there. And to have that at least 1-0 series lead, and then if they win the game 2, whatever, it's still at least it's 1-1. Now you're down 2-0, and against this Pacers team who runs and runs and runs and always keeps coming at you, and is just the epitome of their name, man. Pacers setting the
Yeah.
pace the entire time. I feel like I've never seen a team that lives up to their name more than the Pacers. Like, because again, man, it's just they play a certain style that is exhausting for the other team, and they do it quarters 1 through 4. So New York, the odds are heavily against them because again, they have to do something that has never happened before. And quite frankly, I just think after those 2 games in New York, I don't think they're going to be able to get it done.
The Pacers are 10-2 in the playoffs
And I believe 6 of those are on the road.
on the road.
Yeah,
So,
6-0 in their last 6
if
road
we're
games.
being honest, they went 4-1 against Giannis in Milwaukee. Did the Dame time thing, and then Dame got hurt trying to prove himself, and that's how that season ended for them. Then they go on to play the number 1 seed Cavaliers and run them off the floor. Absolutely boat raced that team. And to everybody's surprise,
Was that 4-1 or 4-2?
4-1.
Yeah.
4-1. Smoked them. Going to New York, the most hostile environment in basketball. Let's just go ahead. There's nothing like Knicks fans.
Listen, we don't like Knicks fans, but that environment, playoff, I mean, this is the biggest series they've had in probably 20-something years, and that
100%.
place is just
booming,
insane.
booming. And they should be. They should be excited to be in this position because you are all of 4 games away from going to the NBA Finals. And just imagine how insufferable New York fans would have been at that point if we knew they were going to the Finals. And here comes the underrated Tyrese Halliburton and the, kind of unthought of Siakam and all these guys, and they have one of the craziest comebacks. That game was over. Like you said, they were up 7 with like 50 seconds left to go in that game.
Oh, there's so many stats.
That game is over.
There's so many stats going around where it's like, I think it was teams are 0-970 when down by 14 with a minute 40 left in the game, and now, of course, that record is 1-970.
Like I said, like this team continues to do. They're not afraid of anybody, and they match up with everybody, and they know how to play great defense. Oh, there's a lot of things that you like about this Pacers team, and I think really that Game 1 meltdown showed them a lot about what the Knicks were and what they could do. Number one, everybody on New York can't guard. They found out that Cat can't guard anybody. Okay, we know that. Miles Turner, we're going to go at him. Obi Toppin, you're going to go at him. We're going to make sure we make this things real, real difficult for you. Jalen Brunson can't stay on the floor. He's going to get into foul trouble. Cool. We're going to bait fouls on him the entire time. If he can't be on the floor, then he can't really do anything at that point. You saw in Game 2 with Cat's inability to defend, Mitchell Robinson had to stay on the floor. Mitchell Robinson was in there way longer than he should have. All of a sudden, Tibbs is making terrible coaching decisions and not playing Cat for, the first 9-10 minutes of the fourth quarter? Like something stupid like that. Like you're starting to see things kind of fall apart for the Knicks. And now they're given the crazy task of going to Indiana and having to pull out at least one of 2 wins. Indiana, is it still Conseco? What is that? What's that arena now?
Something Fieldhouse.
Is it Conseco Fieldhouse still?
Conseco Fieldhouse.
Or what's it called? Not Conseco. What's it called?
Jose's got a stake in it. I have no idea, but I want to say it's or Farmhouse or something like
Gainbridge
that.
Fieldhouse.
Fieldhouse.
Gainbridge?
That is the
That's stupid.
Classic Gainbridge.
That's stupid.
They
But
are
they're going to be in
your
Gainbridge.
Trusted wealth advisors. I don't know.
And I can guarantee that crowd probably won't be as raucous as New York, but they're going to be insane to be up 2-0 on this team and have an opportunity to close out this series and head to the conference final.
Also, I mean, as stoked as New York fans were, to have the 2 games at home, lose them both, and then say the Pacers win these next 2 and just sweep them, like, what an anticlimactic end for that fan base in
You
that
shouldn't have
city.
celebrated like that. That's dumb. Like, who does that?
There's part of
New
me
York,
where,
only New York.
again, I don't have anything against the players and Tom Thibodeau, and again, that environment when it's high stakes basketball. I mean, there's no other place like the Garden, but seeing those fans the other night walking out into the New York streets,
Just
quiet, sad. There
Head
was
down.
part of me that was just kind of like, good.
Listen,
I'm okay with this.
When they were throwing garbage at that Pacers fan, bags of garbage, and like a mob chasing this man down the street is when I lost all respect for Nick. And I understand not every Knicks fan is like that. I want to go ahead and preface my comments by saying that I don't think every Knicks fan is like that.
I think I saw John Hamm in that group of people.
Was he
leading
really?
that. Yeah.
I agree.
I think I saw Larry David in there too.
He probably was.
I don't mean to sound-
Ben Stiller chasing people down the street.
Throwing
Seriously.
garbage on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, was Cardi B in that group too? No, I don't mean to sound holier than thou, but like, were any of those people arrested? Because that is assault. Throwing trash at another person
And
is assault.
I think the cops were with them.
Yeah, the cops were like,
You're
yeah,
probably right
here,
in New York.
Use this.
Yeah.
Use this. Hit him with this.
Yo, bro, got
and,
you.
And it makes it, and that fan happened to be a fireman and all type of stuff, which only kind of made it weird. I was like, all right, man, New York fans are insane. And this is why I wouldn't want them to win. Again, we talked about it earlier. I love the Knicks team. I love Jalen Brunson. I love the fact that his dad is one of the assistants on the team is super awesome to me. We all love Josh Hart because we know what kind of heart he brings as a player, especially when he was here as a Trailblazer. So we understand the talent that this team has. It's just your fans make it hard to root for you. And so I don't want you to win. So I think how it would be so sweet for Indiana to finish the series off at home and get ready for the NBA Finals. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I find it very hard to, would I also then again like to see something that has never happened before? Sure, sign me up. Like that is one of my things as a sports fan. As long as my team's not in it, it's give me something I've never seen before. Like that's all why I always love seeing a new champion, a team win it for the first time in my life, because I can always it's more memorable to me.
For sure.
You know that. Also, I know that TV companies, advertisers, leagues, they love dynasties. They love teams that are just dominating, right? But again, me personally as a fan, I always love it when I see something new. You know, this whole run we've had of 7 different champions within the last 7 years, like I don't mind that.
Yeah, let's keep that going.
Like I don't know if that is the case for you guys or even the listeners. Like I don't know if the NBA likes that or not, but also the way that you've structured things for being able to make it so these teams that are at the top of the league and some of the best, that they then can't afford some of their best players. And so the parity is going to be increased a little bit. Like, good. Like, I think that also seeing this mix of teams here locally should give the Blazers a little bit more Blazer fans hope that, you know, this could be you in a couple of years, maybe. You know, make the right moves, get the right players, make the right trades. But again, I just love seeing something that I haven't seen. So if the Knicks do come back and defy the odds and do something that's never been done before, come back from being down 2-0 or 2-0 after losing the first 2 at home, I'd be down for that as well.
I mean, I'd want to see at least one game, but I don't want to see this team go to the NBA Finals again. Not because of the team, just because I don't want to hear Stephen A. Smith or the rest of the New York media go to, because they will. This will be top story every day.
Can you
for the next 3
imagine
weeks.
what New York would look like if they came back and won this game or this series in 7 games?
I can only imagine.
Won game 7.
They were on top of billboards when they found out they were going to the conference finals.
Oh,
so
good Lord.
I could only imagine what it's going to be like if they actually got past this team and end up going to the finals. Like, that would be, I don't know. There's going to be a riot.
All right, let's get over to the Western Conference Finals, because we had Game 3 last night, and I guess you could call it a game.
I mean, I guess for one team at least.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next here, Sports Sunday, 1080 The Fan. Sports Sunday, 1080 The Fan. Or should I say Sandal Sunday? Rashad and I both rocking some sandals this morning.
Man, I did not feel like putting on tennis shoes. Usually I would, put on some trainers or something like that and head out, but I was like, yeah, no.
I'm right there with you. I got the locals on. the Hawaiian staples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just got some little
Adidas slides. I
Adidas
saw 'em.
slides, just put these joints on. I got to get home and work out, which I'm dreading. I'm sitting here thinking about it like, ugh, it sounds terrible.
You know what, Rashad? I think you'd be proud of your boy over here. Because there was a few months ago, I think you were harping on me, Joe, you need to work out. Why don't you work out? And I was a staunch defender in me not working out. I love my Sunday naps. There will be a Sunday nap had today. But it will be my rest day because your boy has been going on like a jog every 2 to 3 times a week.
Hell yeah.
I'm about a month into going on my runs. Lost 7 pounds.
Feeling good,
over
right?
the
I was gonna
last
say, man, I'm
4
looking
weeks.
at the belly, man. It's looking like
There's still progress
going
to be
down
made
there, man.
But boy, I'll tell you what though, counting calories is a bitch, dude. That has been trying to estimate. You make that?
I made that, bro.
Rashad with a behind the back, no
Yeah.
look.
I'm
hook
just saying,
shot
check the
into
video.
garbage.
Check the video.
Oh
It's
my
on there.
God.
Kareem, let's go.
Not the one I was aiming for, but it went in, so I'm not tripping.
Counting calories though and food and the
Stupid.
dietary like that's the thing
It
that
sucks.
trying to run a caloric deficit and have shed more calories than you're taking in a day, dude, that is
So dumb.
very tough. And especially when I start trying to like estimate and log calories of what I ate, because doing the homemade stuff and trying to calculate, how much my fajita burritos were the other night. And then once you actually see the math and you're like, oh my God, did I really just wolf down 1,200 calories of fajita burritos and chips and salsa? Well, all right.
I don't even think about it anymore.
Only
I-
1,200? Good for you.
I just know like
That
there's
second burrito did me in.
there's a group of things that I just shouldn't eat or can't eat anymore. And so I'm like, all right, just don't eat that anymore. And that's just kind of how I try to look at stuff. I stopped counting calories. The only thing I look at is I look at how much sugar or how many carbs are in certain things before I eat them.
Well-
And outside of that, like, I'm not about to do all this calorie counting. Be mindful of how much I eat. Don't overeat. Maybe 2 or 3 is too many. Maybe just 1 should be enough.
And that's my problem is going back for a second plate is the eating until I'm full rather than just eating until I'm satisfied,
Mhm.
That's my biggest problem there.
Yeah, food is delicious, man. It's hard.
It is.
It's hard.
It is
And
very
it's more
delicious.
right there. Like, what do you mean?
And it's
Like,
comforting.
nobody's
It is-
eating the rest of this chicken or these ribs. Like, I guess just 2 more won't hurt.
I blame my girlfriend. She makes too good of food. Her
That's
and her
usually
fri-
how it goes.
Her and her friends too. They have they like to have like a dinner party, a family dinner, like once a month. I show up to there after to the party after golfing yesterday. They have crab curry. They've got pad ki mao.
Pad
They've-
ki mao.
all of it.
They've got they tried their own version of the pock wings. The fish
Oh,
sauce wings.
Yes.
They had some sort of beef. There was all sorts of stuff.
So this is what girlfriends.
I'm not even going to attempt to put the calories in on that.
This
I
is-
know I screwed myself.
This is what girlfriends tend to do. Girlfriends and wives, they want to get you as fat as possible, so this way nobody else wants you. That's usually that's kind of the Melody thinks she's slick. Like that's what she's doing. She's making
funny.
sure that nobody
Fatten my
else
boy up.
wants your ass, man. So yeah, keep packing on the pasta, man.
But yeah, I want to say, because also the biggest thing is, and this is me to a T, is there have been times where I started working out. I think there's been 3 separate times in my life, post high school or when I was like in college to now, that I've tried to start working out. And they say like the 3-week mark is when you start forming a habit, right? I get to 2 weeks and 6 days, or I get to exactly that 3-week mark and then just stop.
Or you feeling good? You're starting to look at yourself and like, okay.
That even happened one
There
time.
it
I was like,
is.
dude, I can see it. Yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah.
losing some weight. I'm getting a little, and then I just
And then
stopped.
it's like, one thing happens. I have to work out in the morning. I'm not an evening worker outer.
Dude, I love, like, honestly, going on a jog at nighttime. It is.
I love it.
It's
I
quiet.
prefer it.
Everybody's asleep. Like, there's no noises. It's just serene. Like, it is just. I don't know. It's the vibes. It's the vibes, dude.
And I live in a neighborhood that's kind of a neighborhood I grew up in for the most part, and so I know a lot of people. So I don't like having because usually when I run, I just have to stop and have a 2-minute conversation.
Hey,
with
Rashad,
somebody.
looking good.
What's up, bro? I say, okay, hey, what's up, man? So yeah, I prefer running at night. My wife does not understand why I want to go at night. I'm like, man, I worked out in the daytime. This can kind of be my cool down after that, But yeah, man, after like 30 days, now I feel weird when I don't work out. Like I was supposed to work out Friday, and I was like, I got to go to work, and so I missed it. And then I felt so weird the entire day that I didn't. So I feel weird about having to do it today, but once I'm done with it, it's the hardest thing I'll do for the entire day. And that's why I like working out in the morning. So yeah, man, I'm trying to get to it now. I can see the 6-pack is coming in. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a crazy summer.
The
I can't wait.
six-pack, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's definitely there, man. If I take my shirt off now, it's gonna be a problem. I'll probably get a strong. Yeah, I'll probably get a strong letter from or at least the text message from Boss Man. But so I won't do it today. But yes, man, Will Ortner and Suk kind of inspired me a little bit. So I was like, yeah, it's time to kind of get in shape.
So since April 28th, I have gone on 10 jogs, 10 runs since then,
That's good.
Damn, bro.
including one of those a 3.1 mile run, which is a 5K. So check that box. But we're slowly getting there.
Listen, fellas,
I
we're
think you
getting.
got to actually run in a 5K,
Yeah.
Joe.
I know. Yeah,
I'm down if
I
you
did
guys
the,
are.
I did the math, I asked someone. I think it was our sales guy Dave Kingsella, who's an insane running, jogging nut. I was like, how
Yes,
long
he
is a
is.
5K in miles? He's like, it's 3.1. I'm like, oh, I can do that. I was like, no problem.
Can you run the entire time?
That's what I did the other day.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was a full 3.1 jog for me. Didn't stop.
I have to stop for a minute. My knees aren't that great. I'm old now. But I encourage everybody that's out there, especially all of our men. You know, we're getting older. The dad bods are, they're cool, but I know each of us look at our stomach and go, got to do something about that. No more slimming T-shirts. No more of the stuff that we see online. Let's just get out there, get to it, man. Old, regular sit-ups and push-ups, man. We can get in shape again, fellas. I'm encouraging every listener to take a picture of yourself now and then start working out, and then in 30 days, take another picture and see what you look like, and I guarantee you'll keep working yourself out.
Well, the catalyst for me is when my whole upper body is jiggling while I'm brushing my teeth. That should not be.
Boobs are moving back and
Yeah,
forth.
moving
Yeah.
around as I'm shaking. I was like, oh, okay, something needs to.
I thought about it
Something
and
needs
was
to
like,
change
this is
about
what my
this.
wife sees on top of her. No, thank you. This has got to change.
Yeah,
We both can't, be B
both be
cups.
grabbing something.
Yeah, that's got to change. No more of that.
So I'm in my workout journey, my weight loss journey. I started at like 2. I think that when I stepped on the scale before I started my jog routine, I was like 213 point something rather,
Okay,
and now I'm down to 206.
look at you, man.
Good for you, brother.
That's
the
positive.
goal though, it's an aggressive goal, is 175.
Ooh, I like
that's
that. though.
doable. As long as you're
Very
really
doable.
moving and stuff like that, and stop eating bread and pad kimao, then you can definitely get
That's
there. I
not
know.
going to happen.
Yeah.
Listen,
That's where it is. That's where all man.
Honey,
man-
homemade pad thai.
Rice-
Joe will not be able to turn that
rice
down.
bread,
Nor should he.
noodles. That's where we get. That's where we pack on the pound. Everything else is cool. Rice
Oh,
bread, noodles is
bro,
where we mess up.
I counted the calories for my breakfast yesterday, and it is insane how quickly things can get out of hand from a calorie standpoint.
sure.
It is just wild.
Just one more
Adds
of
up.
anything, it can be the downfall.
I was saying the other day that, and I saw this months ago when I finally looked at the label of a bag of chips,
Yeah.
and then did the math there.
Mhm.
And I blew someone's mind the other night because he opened a bag of Lay's. He's like, which cracked me up because he asked me if I ever had Lay's chips before. Like,
What?
I was like, did you
just
just
original
ask?
Lay's.
What?
He's like, you ever had these before? And I was like,
Yes.
have I ever had a Lay's potato chip? Yeah, I think I've had a Lay's potato chip.
I mean, it could be a legit question. There are a lot of people that have never had just regular Lay's, which is
Those
crazy
have been
to me.
around for like 100 years.
That's
Come
not
on.
that's not a chip.
Come
people-
on.
I'm
But
like,
that's
who the hell
not a chip
has it?
people just choose, though, right? Like that's usually the chip that's at the.
That's a staple, though. That's
Lay's? It's like Lay's, Ruffles, Doritos.
I mean, again, but not regular Lay's. Most people I know don't get regular Lay's.
Well, I will say
I love that's my favorite.
the
I get
sour cream and
regular Lay's.
onion Lays are
That's the goat.
absolutely good.
Yeah.
No,
Those are,
Ruffles,
That's a top
sour
5.
cream and onion. Ruffles with ridges.
I would
That's
say
where
the
you
sour
go.
cream and cheddar.
Sour cream and cheddar.
I do
is
like the
Ruffles
sour
one.
cream and cheddar.
That one is a top 5 for me.
Damn right.
Might have to rank my top 5 chips in the break. But I blew his mind by saying, like, dude, you know how many calories are in a single bag of Lay's?
Oh, you're
I
that
was-
guy now.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
have to be.
Yeah,
When
you're
you
that
start
guy now.
counting
Yeah.
calories and you
Oh.
realize all this just kind of, maybe it's a tiny thing. No, it's actually got 400 calories in it.
Yeah, crazy.
The whole bag of Lay's was like 1,100 calories. And I was like, we could easily crush this bag in like 5-10 minutes. Also, I was like, and then just bam, right there, 1,100 calories.
Now you got to go walk for an hour.
an hour, 2, 3,
Yeah,
or
no
something
kidding.
like that. My God. So, all right, I'm going to rank my top 5 ships in the break, and we will get to what I wanted to get to there, which is today's matchup of the yesterday's matchup, which I think will also be tomorrow's matchup, now that I think about it. It'd be silly for the NBA not to have a game on Memorial Day, so I imagine that there is a Western Conference Finals game tomorrow. But we will get to the Thunder and Timberwolves, which will also lead in the second hour to a MVP conversation, SGA winning that this week. We do that all next, hour number 2, Sports Sunday, 1080 The Fan.
Swag here, and the spring weather has me needing to get my golf game in
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, the conference finals continuing this weekend of the NBA playoffs. It was all Minnesota in the Timberwolves matchup against the Thunder in Game 3 of the West Finals. 143-101 the final for the Timberwolves. Big days for Anthony Edwards, leading all scorers with 30 points, and Julius Randle following it up with 24. Oklahoma City does still lead that series 2-1. Later on this afternoon, over in the East, the Pacers take a 2-0 series lead into Game 3, hosting the New York Knicks. Indiana is a 1.5-point favorite. Coverage gets going right here on The Fan at 4:30. Tip-off set for 5 p.m. on TNT and Max. And over in baseball, the Seattle Mariners taking the loss yesterday 2-1 to the Houston Astros thanks to a throwing error from Brian Wu. Did give up the 2 runs, though they were not earned. They'll go for the series split this afternoon. Luis Castillo and Colton Gordon on the bump. Actually, this morning, First pitch set for 11:10 a.m. on Root Sports. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Curtain missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
It's back. The 11th annual Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms Golf Club happens Tuesday, June 24th. Presented by your local Toyota dealers. Reserve your foursome now at 1080thefan.com.
Dude. Well, I guess you've got a point there.
This is Sports Sunday.
Hey, Skidmark Steve! Hey, dude. You still just hanging out playing Nintendo?
Well, if you must know, I'm in my second year of med school, and I'm training for the summer games. What are you two up to?
Just hanging out, playing Nintendo.
A recap recap of the sports week, a preview of today's games, and next week's big stories.
You think Shaq got rich playing in Orlando? Hardly. He made his fortune moving to LA. You know how much he makes now?
As much as he made playing in college?
What? No.
Now, here are Rashad Taylor and Joe Fisher.
What happened out there?
You know, it was a team effort, and I guess it took every player working together to lose this one.
Thanks, Doug. And so...
Hey, want to do an interview with me?
No.
With Sports Sunday on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
Bob, in all my years of calling games, I don't think I've ever been this excited.
You're excited? Feel these nipples.
Hour number 2, Sports Sunday, right here on 1080 The Fan. If you enjoy Sports Sunday, you can find the first hour of this podcast and every show that we've done ever on the Odyssey app or anywhere you get your podcasts. You can subscribe to the show even on those formats, or you can subscribe to 1080 The Fan on the YouTube page or Twitch or something like that. I hope this is the right paper that I'm reaching out for here. No, that's not. Do we got a... I want to read something. I feel like there should be something around here to spread the word about a little.
Got one in here.
Something.
But maybe Rashad has.
I have something that says bathrooms.
No.
Summer is finally... No.
No, that is not it.
Okay.
That is, no. Well, I'll ask you this, Rashad. Are you a loser?
I think far from it. It depends on what we're talking
Are
about.
you a
though.
nerd?
Oh, super.
Yeah, actually,
Super.
Okay. Well,
Different. I'm a different kind of nerd. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like everybody's kind of a nerd in their own right.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, how about this? If you're a golf nerd, then there is no reason that you shouldn't be out at Langdon Farms on June 24th for the Fan Golf Classic. There are still some foursomes available for the morning time. I want to say the afternoon is almost, if not completely, filled up at this point.
Uh-oh.
So that leaves some morning times. As the days get closer, the excitement ramps up. It's like Christmas. I would say that 1080 The Fan Golf Classic is like the Christmas day of the fans' calendar. I can't sleep the night before. I am lying in bed, giddy. I have my golf shoes on in my bed, my full golf attire. I'm like a child just waiting for Santa to show up. But if you have not registered, go to 1080thefan.com or the portlandperks.com platform. You can also buy it there. You can buy your foursomes there. Brought to you by Toyota, local Toyota dealers, Henderson and Daughter Windows and Doors, Philbrook Law, Accident and Injury Attorneys. There's going to be plenty of booze out on the course and at the course that you can buy. Matt's Barbecue, going to be back again for lunch and dinner. Victor Rico's will have breakfast burritos when you show up. Hole number 6 is going to be the 1080 The Fan hole, brought to you by Angels Envy Bourbon. So while you're hitting your par 3 90, 95-yard shot to the Volcano hole on Langdon, there will be a slew of 1080 The Fan hosts and personalities out at the hole all day long from morning till night to impose their wisdom on your golf game and maybe even give you an extra shot or two out there. Last year, I came just inches from a hole-in-one on that
was
hole.
crazy.
Damn it.
I was thinking about that the
I
other
still
day.
have the picture. Just an inch short.
Yeah, that was big news around these parts.
You almost made Dirk quit golfing. I
Yes.
legitimately think he would have thrown his clubs in the trash and just said, no, I'm done.
I would have enjoyed that.
Put so much work and money and time into that game, and he's like, no, I can't do it anymore.
So, yeah, and I believe, again, what we did last year is we were not on air. We did best of shows while everybody was out at the course. And so if you want to hang out with Dirt and Sprague, Danny and Dusty, the fan manager, the fan brand manager, Dusty Hara now, Isaac and Suk, and I know that I'll be out there. Schultze likely to be out there, yes. I'm sure Luke Anderson will be out there. I'm trying to get Patrick to show up. I know that Patrick's not a golfer, but I said, you got to be there, bud. You got to be there. Rashad Taylor.
I'll be in the building.
You're going to be there,
in the
huh?
building, for sure. I don't think I'm going to play.
Oh, no.
No, you don't need to play,
terrible.
dude. Hang out.
I'm not the guy that you want me in a foursome with. Like, yeah, we'll be here for a while.
Well, you can go to the range and work on your game.
That might be
some
it.
shots in
Yeah,
there.
nobody from the fans at the range though. We're all at hole 6, just getting hammered.
Oh, I'm getting oiled up on the course, but I'm also oiling up my game
All right,
as
Diddy.
well.
Ooh,
All right, man.
jeez.
You got to be quiet. You got to be careful with saying the
Yeah.
oil now.
Well, oil can.
Listen,
Cars use oil, Rashad.
hey man, so does
Come on.
so does Sean Combs apparently. Lots of it.
Well, Fan Golf Classic, June 24th. We are officially less than a month away from the Fan Golf Classic.
It's creeping up
I'm
on
excited.
us real quick, man. We're about to be in June. How fast has
weird.
2025 been going, man?
Yeah, I can't wait. June's gonna be a fun month. I'll be going to Bend, the White People Oasis of Bend in Central Oregon.
Well,
Yeah.
I do love Ben.
That's how I celebrate Juneteenth, is by going to the most white place in Oregon.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it.
that's
Way
what
to-
I'm doing.
Way to do your part, bro.
Yeah,
Way to do your part.
No problem.
Yeah.
But that weekend, I think I'm going to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Come back for a day on Monday to prepare for the Fan Golf Classic, and then Tuesday is the Fan Golf Classic. So that's a solid week right there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's
it's
a
gonna be a
solid
busy
stretch.
week.
Yes. White Boy Summer officially activated on
There you
June
go.
19th. Juneteenth.
There you
All
go.
right. Let's take a break. Let's get back on the clock, and let's talk about these Western Conference Finals because we are 3 games in. We got Game 4 tomorrow. We got an MVP in this series as well. So let's talk about the Thunder Timberwolves next here. Sports Sunday, 1080 The Fan.
Time is ticking away. Don't let a
All right, I'm concocting my top 5 chips of all time. And I'll have it by the end of the show.
If Cool Ranch Doritos are not on that list, you are
That's
not
a
American,
problem.
my friend.
Well, you'll have to find out in probably the last segment. That's where I'm guessing we'll be doing this.
Really, that's not hard hitting 10:30 radio. I'm just kidding. It's not.
No, that's definitely we're finishing the show and we're just trying to get to the finish line radio. That's
I understand,
what that is.
bro. It's Memorial Day weekend, everybody. Happy holiday weekend.
Yeah,
out there.
everybody else is at home sleep. We
true.
decided to give you guys riveting Chips radio.
Yeah,
You're
damn
welcome.
right. But we'll talk some sports here, I guess.
Actually, we got some high YouTube viewer numbers, so appreciate everybody checking in. This is awesome.
How about that?
Yeah.
We have Western Conference Finals basketball happening. We have a 2-1 series right now with the Thunder and the Timberwolves. The Thunder losing the way they did last night, is that why people don't trust them? Do we I know I've been on the Thunder train since the playoffs started, so I'm going to give them one, lapse of a game. So 2 questions. 1, is this why people don't trust the Thunder? And 2, are there games like this? And I would love to talk to a professional athlete where there are some games in a playoff series. This is more so for NBA specifically, where they're just yeah, F this. They
Not
get into
going.
the second quarter and they're just getting worked in every phase of the game. And they're like, guys, just F this game. Let's pack it in. And let's just get to game 4. And then they literally stop trying the rest of the game.
Yeah, I when you're looking at a team like OKC, they had a really hard fought second round series against Denver, right? 7 games, went back and forth and everything. You had 2 huge wins in games 1 and game 2 at home. Then you had to travel with literally 1 day rest, not even a day rest, but 1 day between games. I'm sure there was a shoot around at least yesterday, the day before the game. They were probably exhausted. You know what? Y'all got this one. Because the way the game started, I'm looking at the score to start the game. That's a team that's gassed, 34-14. In the first quarter. So advantage Minnesota. That's an OKC team that was absolutely gassed. And a shout out to their coaching staff for saying, you know what, guys, this game's over. Y'all come reel it in. We're not going to spend all this energy trying to come back in the game. We're not the Pacers. We're not going to spend all this energy trying to come back in the game. And we're already up big in the series. Let this one go. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had arguably the worst shooting night of the playoffs. Jalen Williams didn't have a great shooting night. I think he only shot 8 or 9 shots, for the evening. So you look at a team that just really was out of it. And I can imagine, I think once we get to the conference finals, there should be at least a 2-day window between games. I mean, give these guys an opportunity to travel, rest up, all the stuff. I understand wanting
You're saying
to have
after the first 2 games?
I'm
when you're traveling to
yeah, sure. After the first 2 games and we're going from here to there should be 2 days between, let them travel because Oklahoma, I don't know how close they are. I'm not I wasn't great at geography, but
It's not more than an hour or 2 flight, right? Up to
is it?
Minnesota. I
But
mean, you're
Oklahoma's-
talking OKC right up to Minnesota,
probably say
it's probably like
hour and a half.
yeah, out 90
hours.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let
But
me
even-
Google that
But
just
even
to
still,
be sure.
you're leaving. You more than likely you're leaving the night of the game, right? So you get to the next town, you check into your hotel.
2 hours 7 minutes.
Yeah, so you check into your hotel and everything. Once you get there, it's super late. You have 1 day rest. If you are nursing an ankle, which I think a lot of people are right now, or if you're nursing a wrist or a hamstring or something like that, a 1 day turnaround isn't a lot of time to rest up, try to recover, and get back on the floor. I think OKC this is what happens when you play as hard as you do and you play defense the way you do. I think it can take a lot out of you. And so I think, honestly, this was just a reset game for them. Let's shut it down for right now. They're not going to beat us. I think they know. We've seen in games 1 and game 2, I don't think Minnesota is good enough to beat them. Anthony Edwards had to play. I'm looking at the stat line. He had to play amazing last night for them to be even being. I think he missed 4 shots all night. So he had to be out of his mind for them to be able to be in this position to win as big as they did last night. So I don't know if it's thinking about not trusting OKC right now. I can see why, because they've never done it before, so I can see why people would say that. But I'm just looking at a team that was like, man, y'all got this one. We'll see y'all the next one. Mind you, now they rested this game for the most part. We got a day off tomorrow, have another game. Yeah, we're good for right now.
So you don't think there's any any trust lost in
Nah.
OKC after a game like this?
Nah, not for me. Not for me. I mean,
I mean,
think
for
in the-
God's sakes, 42-point loss, dude. I mean, that's
yeah.
I understand losing by maybe 20, but 42 damn
Greg
points.
Popovich is lost by a lot. And, he's
I mean-
he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. And that's if you go back to that San Antonio and Detroit series, I want to say 2005 or something like that. San Antonio, there were games where they were absolutely. There's nothing they can do. Popovich was sitting people down by the middle of the third quarter. This game's over, guys. Don't worry about it. Like it's cool. And then on the other side, Larry Brown did the same thing. Man, we're getting blown out right now. This game is over. Like,
Man.
come sit down so we can we can get back to doing this.
I mean, this was 85-86, but the Spurs lost to the Lakers one playoff game, first round game. So, not as recent. And it was first rounded by 47 points.
Yeah.
Geez, in the 80s, that might as well be 100 back then.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, and then, too, didn't Oklahoma City go back and forth with Denver? Denver looked pretty anemic at times during that series
Right.
in the semifinals. Then all of a sudden, they would be shooting like Minnesota did, 50%
Yeah.
basically from three-point land, and they're able to do it. And it's not really the team that I feel like has the implication here, guys. It's almost like the game of basketball, right? Like, it's a game of runs, and now the way that teams shoot the ball, I mean, 15 points, that can be eliminated
That's
or
real quick.
shrunk down to a 2-point lead or 0 or a tie game in
Real quick.
almost no time now. So it's just not the same game that it was. That's why I say it was a 100-point lead if it was 47 back in the 80s, because at this point, it's just it's almost like a lot of teams. Yes, this is a situation you guys point out very, very adeptly that, hey, game 3 of the finals, we got a 2-game lead, or what do we really need to give effort? It's like, why are we caring? I get that, but I feel like most teams do this just, week to week in the NBA. Yes, the scenario calls for it, but why would I have less faith in the Oklahoma City Thunder when I feel like every team at least once do this during these playoffs alone?
Yeah, it's just maybe it is just a matter of like they are taking that as a game like, we just don't have it tonight, and this is a good chance for us to get some rest under our belt. We do have a 2-0 series lead. We go and we win this next game. We're up 3-1. We're going back home. And so maybe it's a business decision in that sense, but I just wonder if there's any sort of inkling from people watching that saying that if they didn't trust the Thunder to begin with, they see a game like that and they're like, see, this is why I just can't believe that they're going to hold on to win this series and end up running away with it or winning an NBA championship at that.
To your point, Joe, the Timberwolves played on the same amount of rest as the Thunder, right? I know they got to go sleep in their beds for 6 hours, but you still had to get up in a quick turnaround. Same kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, yeah, they absolutely did.
But also
they
they are the more rested team in the sense of what happened the series before.
Yeah, it's going further back.
Yeah,
I got
so
you.
they got an opportunity to be a little more rested, which is why it was so surprising that OKC just pretty much blew them out in the first 2 games, because the Timberwolves did have a little more time to kind of rest up and get ready for whatever's next. But yeah, I think this was just a bad game by OKC. This was just they didn't have it, and it's like that. There are games against Denver. It was like Denver is the superior team. Jokic is the superior player. That's just kind of the way it looks. And last night was Anthony Edwards' game to say that, man, we're better than an 0-2 deficit. And so I still don't think they're going to win the series. I think OKC, usually after a big blowout like that team that got blown out usually comes back with the vengeance the next game. And so I can imagine OKC coming out and playing no games and boat racing them by the time we get to the second quarter. I can honestly see that.
Well, I will say this too, is that going into this series, again, just riding with Oklahoma City this entire playoff run, but the series of the Timberwolves Warriors, even when the Warriors lost Steph Curry, there was a couple games where the Timberwolves late in the game in the fourth quarter where they had the lead or they were in command of the game, and they just didn't close out the games. I want to say maybe it was games 4 and 5 or maybe 3 and 4 where they just did not close out the games as smoothly, as confidently, and as they should have against a team that didn't have Steph Curry, and especially the way that the game was going the first 3 quarters, where it was the Timberwolves really didn't put their stamp on those games in a way that they should have. So while they won that series against the Warriors, them going into the Western Conference Finals, there was part of me that was just kind of like, yeah, they won the series, they're going into it, but I don't think they won those games as well as they should have against a team that didn't have Steph Curry. And it didn't give me a whole lot of confidence in the Timberwolves going into this one that they were going to be able to win this series and, quite frankly, keep it close. Like, this could be the only game that the Timberwolves get in this series.
I agree. And not just no Steph Curry, but a hobbled Jimmy Butler, because I think he was still dealing with that tailbone injury that he had, a little bit earlier in the playoffs. And so you had a team, and Jonathan Kuminga, they were still trying to figure out what they're doing with him all the way during the series. I just think they scraped by on a team that was kind of, when Draymond is your best player on the floor, you've got a great chance to win at this point. So I'm with you. I think they kind of scraped by a really hobbled Warriors team, and that gave me all the pause to say, yeah, they're not going to be able to do it. This team is very Anthony Edwards-centric, and if he doesn't have it, old-ass Mike Conley's not going to give you nothing. Like, we're seeing that. Like, Mike Conley almost serves no purpose out there at this point. Like, and I love Mike Conley, but he's just one of those guys that he's clearly chasing this ring, and hopefully he gets it at some point. I don't think it's going to be with Minnesota.
Yeah, you want to talk about we've mentioned it a couple times last couple of weeks, guys that we would like to see get a ring for.
Oh, he's
finally.
one of them.
Mike Conley,
one of the guys at the top of that list for sure. It's hard not to like Mike Conley for as good as he's been, throughout his career. Jaden McDaniels, like, what's up with this guy? Like, one day he's great, the next day he's ass. Like, right now he's more ass than everything. Like, I don't think this Minnesota team has enough outside of Anthony Edwards. And then on the other side, you see Julius Randle, who is awful.
Well, game one he was awesome.
He was great.
Game two, he didn't even play the fourth quarter.
Trash, because he was trash.
Yeah.
He was trash, but he actually did a little bit of something last night, and I know it has to hurt for Minnesota to look on the other side, and Cat is really killing. Like, Cat is really doing his thing, and the Knicks should be closer to the championship than Minnesota is, but that's got to sting to know that Julius Randle is up and down, and Cat is really killing right now. So I don't trust this Minnesota team. I love Anthony Edwards. I love his game, but OKC is just too much, and last night was Minnesota's one opportunity. That was the get-out-of-jail-free card. Go ahead, get this one off, and then we're going to come back and probably blow you out during Game 4.
Well, Oklahoma City, a favorite in Game 4, but not by much. It's 3.5 right now is the spread of that one. So if you feel like that's going to be the one where Oklahoma City comes back and they're able to just put their mark on this series and take a 3-1 series lead in a dominant fashion, I mean, take that 3.5. But right now the books are feeling that it's going to be a close one in Game 4 tomorrow night. 5:30 tip-off on ESPN, Oklahoma City Thunder against the Minnesota Timberwolves. There is an MVP in this series, SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or is it Gilgeous? I feel like I've heard his name a billion times and I still get it wrong.
I thought it was Gilgeous, but
I think it is Gilgeous.
I feel like I hear people say Isaiah Hartenstein and then Steen, and I still don't know which one it is either. So
also, Gilgeous is funny to me.
Yeah,
it would be funny if his name was Shai Gilgeous.
That's Game of Thrones like. I met the great Gilgeous the other day.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, your MVP. Let's talk about him because I feel like a very polarizing subject right now in these playoffs, especially with him getting named the MVP. We do that next here, Sports Sunday, 1080 The Fan. But first, George Schultz with the Sports Center update.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on the Fan Conference play, continuing in the NBA playoffs this weekend. Yesterday, all Minnesota all the time in their win over the Oklahoma City Thunder in their Game 3 matchup, 143-101, the final. OKC does still lead that series 2-1, but Anthony Edwards leading the way with 30 to make a mark on the series for Minnesota. Julius Randle following that effort up with 24 points. Later on this afternoon, the East Finals Game 3, the Indiana Pacers leading that series 2-0 over the New York Knicks. Hosting New York as a 1.5-point favorite. Coverage gets going right here on the Fan at 4:30. Tip-off set for 5 p.m. on TNT and Max. And over in baseball, the Seattle Mariners dropping a 2-1 final to the Houston Astros yesterday, thanks to a throwing error from Brian Wu. Ended up giving 2 runs up to the Astros, though not earned. They'll go for the series split with Houston today, an 11:10 a.m. first pitch on Root Sports. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
Your favorite fan shows are on YouTube. Match the Sports Sunday with Rashad and Joe on Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan.
So the 2024-2025 NBA MVP is playing in the Western Conference Finals as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But man, I don't think the timing could have been any worse for his MVP coming a day or two after they win game one, and he gets as many free throws as he gets, and basically the narrative of him being a free throw merchant, with which Doris Burke even said on the broadcast at one point. And again, some of the calls that he got, again, I don't think the timing was great on that. Also, the timing of naming the MVP, what is the NBA doing? Like, you want to talk about taking out the climactic moment of who is the MVP? Oh, here on a Wednesday at 12:30, SGA is the MVP, by the way. Like, Shams is reporting it. Rather than making it a thing and making it more of a bigger deal, you're literally it's a press release like any other day of the week, and it's just like, oh, yeah, by the way, the highest honor given to the best player in the league, it's SGA. All right, go about your work, Dave. No, everything's fine. Like, it literally was an email. And then they do the press conference later in the day, and they give the award actually to him, I believe, game 2.
Which I'm glad they did, because there was a while that they stopped doing that, which was irritating.
So, I mean, but again, just the anticlimactic moment of just naming the MVP in a press release, essentially in an email, to me is dumb. But with that being said, like SGA, it's very polarizing him getting the MVP because of his style of play. He is a great player. Obviously, when you are averaging that many points a game and you're able to make the shots that you do, get into the lane, get into the paint, make buckets, midi magician. He can do it all as far as scoring wise goes. But I think just a lot of people are looking at him right now and have a kind of sour taste in their mouth because of how he is able to get to the line and how the refs are just falling for it. Like that's the one thing, is that when I'm watching this with SGA and him getting the calls, there's part of me that's just like, okay, why? Like why him? Why? I know that they say stars benefit from the whistles, but SGA, when you want to talk about the stars of the league, like, sure, he's up there, but he's not a Steph Curry. He's not a LeBron James. He's not a Tatum. He's not a Jokic. He's not an Anthony Edwards at this point as far as name and notoriety. He's just a really good offensive scorer. But he's just tricking the refs. He is just doing things that are coming across as if it is the defense that is doing this, when really he's the one that will initiate contact and then go fly into the floor. Like, he will lead in with his shoulder, and as soon as the contact is made,
bounce off of it.
Yeah, whoa! And then someone texted in earlier, as far as like players being unlikable in this NBA playoffs, and someone said Brunson and SGA just falling down, flopping, hooking opponents' arms, or flailing their legs after jumpers has made me dislike them. I get it. Like, that part of the game will drive you crazy. And the one thing that does drive me crazy, and I think it was McDaniels the other night that had just had enough of it.
And he pushed him.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Is the hook. When the offensive players actively grabs the defensive player's arms and tries to hook it and grab it and pull it into their body.
Underneath their...
Dude,
how is that not an offensive foul, like, immediately?
Yeah, and it's like, and for the refs not to be able to recognize that, man, I saw that happen in one of my son's basketball games a few months ago. A kid on the other team doing that to, I don't know if it was my son or just another player on his team, but I saw him pulling that move, and then he got the foul called and then went to the line. I was losing my mind. Like, I kept it in because I didn't want to get tossed. But I was just like, how do you not see that is what he is doing? It's like, he literally did exactly what he wanted to and tricked you. Like, that's to me is the refs are just being fooled right now, 100% with his game.
I'm not sure that I could subscribe to that theory, because I'm always one to bag on the refs. You know me, guys. Like, tinfoil hat, one to get pissed off. Like, I love that. But, like, do you think this maybe isn't so much on the referees, and it's more so how we just view and call the game? Let me give an example. Traveling in the NBA compared to traveling at the youth level, for instance. Like, when I was a kid, if I palmed the ball, it was an obvious travel call. And if I got maybe a little bit higher up, in the middle school, high school rankings, I think they started to kind of call that a little bit less. But I would notice that, you could kind of get away with that if you did it correctly. But it's still, like, against the letter of the law. Like, and really just a straight up, even today, like, technically carrying the ball, palming the ball over with your hand is not legal, but we just don't call it in the NBA. And it sucks, and it's stupid, and we just kind of gave up on that. Is this kind of foul baiting going in that direction? And I'm with you guys. I don't like it. I think it sucks.
I think they've really, the referees have done a good job of picking and choosing who they want this to apply to.
Well,
right?
yeah, that's why I look at SGA and I'm just like, well, why him of all players is going to be getting the most free throws in the league? Like, and it's because he knows that is how the game is going as far as how they're officiating it. And this is where the game also has gone for a lot of people. It's like, I'm going to try and go for the draw the foul rather than just try and get a basket and play basketball.
And they always give the benefit of the doubt to people who finish around the rim, right? It's just kind of one of those. James Harden, for the longest time, this was one of the biggest knocks on James Harden is that I hate how he draws fouls. That's his biggest thing. He comes to the lane, he puts his arms out there, and he goes up left because he's a lefty and gets fouled all the time. They call that foul. It's a stupid foul. That was the biggest thing. And I think that was one of the many reasons people kind of soured on James Harden, who was considered one of the faces of the NBA for a long time. Now, and he was also a first-team All-NBA guy every single year and all this thing. I think Shai is moving into that untouchable point guard mentality. You can't breathe on Steph without it being a foul. Right, he don't shoot as many free throws as Shai, but Steph shoots a lot of them too. And I think that's that's what they end up doing. It's kind of picking and choosing. And Shai, I'll be honest, to his credit, he's a great actor. He does a great job of selling that fall and acting like a lot of times he's out of control and he's stumbling. Like I'm falling up, foul. Like, what are you talking about?
They had one in game 1 where he legitimately fell and they reviewed it and they're like, yeah, he actually wasn't even touched.
He wasn't touched at
like,
all.
Yeah.
But even the inclination to blow the whistle and call that because you saw him fall, and I think that's what it's become. Like, he's so good, there's no way he just fell on his own, right?
So you guys are basically saying that if it were Duop Reith doing the same exact move, they wouldn't even give it in the whistle.
Again, it is that. Like, stars get the foul because they're the best players, so clearly someone else
could miss that on their own.
Someone else did something wrong. But I think a lot of these dudes, and it also shows, like I went and looked up the free throw attempts leaders for this NBA season, and it's funny that 5 of these 6 guys are not like the one outlier in this list. So I'll go from 6 to 1. I'll go from 7 to 1 just because, Nikola Jokic, big dude, center, big guy. You got to put an arm on him. You got to foul him.
Yeah, you have to foul him. He's not baiting for fouls.
But number 6, Lillard. Number 5, Brunson. Number 4, Harden. Number 3, Trae Young. Number 2, SGA. Those are all guys that are known for playing to get a foul and get a foul. I mean, Lillard's been guilty. Lillard's been guilty of that his career.
Absolutely.
Brunson's been guilty of that. Harden, Trae Young was getting that label put on him years ago, and he's still doing that. And when he goes around the screen, then the player tries to go over it, and he's right behind him. Then he stops, shoots a layup, and lets the defender run into him. That is a classic playing for the foul, not for the basket. SGA, obviously, we're talking about now. Number 1 free throw attempts in the league this year, it was Giannis. But that dude is a gigantic human being that is coming down the lane.
Him.
Yeah, it's like good luck not fouling.
Yeah. So
him,
between Jokic and Giannis, I understand that.
Yeah, it's like those two. It's like, all right, I get why those guys have as many free throw attempts because they're gigantic human beings that you have to hack them. You got to get physical with them to throw them out of their game.
I think James Harden being a lefty, is throws a lot of people off because your inclination is always to block with your right hand and go that way and everything. But him being a lefty, I think that throws a lot of people off. And he knows very well how to get contact from the refs. And the one thing all them dudes do, every one of them, is if they don't get a foul call, they're in the referee's face.
Yep.
What happened? Why aren't you calling this? Look at this down the floor. Jalen Brunson did it like 50 times during the game the other day. Shai is constantly, if you don't call a foul for Shai, he's like, man, what did you not see that? And then the referee goes, oh, okay, I got you.
If I'm not mistaken, it was Dame and Steph Curry doing basically kind of that foul baiting, but on like a 3-point shot. Remember, they would kind of go up for a long shot and then back off and be like, oh, hey, I got fouled. And wasn't that the setup to the NBA eventually saying, hey, you can't do that. You will be called for an offensive foul. Now we're kind of getting to a new level with this, with the hooking and the undercutting.
No, I mean, I'm glad Shai won. That's not my big thing. My big thing is like, I don't see how you don't give it to Jokic. He had an all-time great season and better than any season he's ever had, and he's won the MVP 3 times for less. And now he's had pretty much a historic season, and you say, nah, we're going to give it to this guy. I just want to know what the parameters are for MVP. Like, I think there needs to be clear-cut reasons or a criteria as to why people win the MVP. This way there's no conversation about who should have won. Because while Shai, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, it's hard for me to say Jokic don't deserve it either. Like, there's not another all-star on his team. All these guys are good, but none of them are really guys that you would start your franchise with. I think OKC has like 3 guys you could potentially start a franchise with.
Yeah, Jokic, his averages for the season, it was his highest points per game average, highest assists per game, and the second most rebounds per game of his career. Most steals per game. He almost averaged 2 steals a game, 1.8 this season.
A dude that can't play defense.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just saying, I think Shea definitely, and then they won. I think what happened if Jokic won in the second round, then he would be the MVP. I think so, honestly, I think that would have been the tipping point for everybody. If Jokic had won, that would probably given them, but because it was Shea, I think that was the deciding factor.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just it's very interesting timing right now because we also recency bias. Like nobody's gonna go back and look like, oh, that game that Shea had back in January against the Hawks where he just could, like, they don't have specific examples to go back on right now. Guys that follow the league closely do have those examples, but just again, the timing right now does not do him any justice for how great of an offensive player that he is. And again, just the way that the narrative around his foul chasing is right now, it's taking a little bit of the shine off the MVP, which sucks for him. But again, I just think it's interesting to talk about because he's a unique player and MVP winner in that sense, where we haven't, again, going through the last few MVPs, well, I guess you could say Joel Embiid, but again, recency bias, he hasn't played. You want to talk about a guy hunting for fouls. I mean, and that's one of those things, though, is when you see a guy of his size, you're very much like, dude, you do not have to do that. Like, you are going to get fouled because you are gigantic. You are 7 foot, 265, 275, however much he weighs. Like, you don't have to be hunting for fouls. Also, the way that he plays, a little bit outside of the paint also.
He wants to be a guard.
Yeah.
Desperately wants to be a swing.
Is that, he's one of those guys where the little players, the guards, like they almost feel like they have to hunt for those fouls so that way to avoid having to go to the paint, to avoid having to get those easy buckets. It's like, well, I'll just go live at the free throw line.
And still get on the board. I think that's what you end up doing. But it's not a hard fought, getting to the line like Allen Iverson, to where you were not looking for fouls. You were just going hard to the cup and getting fouled. Like, okay, that's much different. Russell Westbrook, I'll get to the line. There was a long time he was getting to the line a lot, but he was driving incredibly hard to get to the lane. So I don't have a problem with guys get fouled and actually shoot, like you mentioned, Giannis and Jokic and all those guys. I don't have a problem with that, but when you're searching for fouls, like, that's when it can be kind of annoying.
Yeah, again, I'm just looking at the MVPs over the last 10 years or so, and SGA just kind of sticks out where it's like that is a part of his game, and where he makes a living is being able to, again, and it sucks because we know how great of a player he is offensively, and so it's kind of this catch-22. It's like, well, I know he's really good, but
James Harden is on there too.
I know he's an MVP, but, and again, when I look at James Harden, you're right. It's like his free throw, like, he's a free throw merchant too, but there was something about his game during that MVP season and that Houston run offensively where it's just like, that dude is going to cook you.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to go off for some offensive performances that he is unstoppable.
Yeah.
So whereas SGA, it's like, maybe it's just the almost like the San Antonio Spurs death by 1,000 cuts. Like, it may not be the sexiest thing in the world, but it's going to be crafty. It's going to piss you off, and it's going to end up with 32 points a night.
It's going to be effective.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only thing. When you look up and see his 32 points per game average, the fact that he's at the free throw line for 12 of them doesn't really matter.
No. All right, close up shop. I give you the best chips of all time next on Sports Sunday.
You're listening to Sports Sunday with Rashad Taylor and Joe Fisher on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
All right, with this being Memorial Day weekend, people cooking, barbecuing. I was thinking of chips. And how great are chips, honestly?
They're a great side. They're a great compliment. Any sandwich, you got a
on the
hot
sandwich,
dog,
perhaps?
oh my gosh.
Shout out Kettle Chips, born and raised out of Salem, Oregon.
is true.
Eating those growing up because the factory is right there, and then they went nationwide, so now everybody enjoys them. God, they're so good.
Oh,
Kettle
so the
chips.
salt and vinegar, the kettle chips are some of my favorite. Also,
Hell yeah.
the Dijon mustard
Oh
or the
my
honey
God.
mustard. Oh my gosh.
The barbecue kettle. I mean,
Yeah.
kettle has like 50 flavors too. So even
Kettle
better.
is
New York cheddar.
Yes.
They're solid, man. They're sneaky. They're a sneaky 12 seed that you don't think about them, but they're gonna make a run.
You almost leave them out of the conversation,
Yeah.
but then you're like, oh yeah.
But I have my top 5 best chips of all time. And there might be some on here that you are gonna debate, not agree with, but it is definitive. These are the top 5. All right, no
Let's
debate.
hear it.
I'm going to give some honorable mentions, though.
Okay.
One of them, just because I feel like I need to alert the public, PSA on it, Ruffles Jalapeno Ranch. If you have not seen or tried the Ruffles Jalapeno Ranch, change that. Because I had some, I was trying to be objective in this list. If I really wanted to go hot take, I'd put it number 1. That is almost one of those that I see it, I get it. The thing that's been pissing me off lately is they don't ever put it on sale. Like Ruffles, for some reason,
They're real stingy
it's
with
the
their
good stuff,
They're real
yeah.
stingy
dude,
with their sales.
every time I'm in Freddy's, every single one of their bags of chips, it's like $5.99. And I'm
Yep.
like, I was like, until I see a buy 3 get 1 free, or we got a crazy deal for $3.99, $2.99, then I'll get it. But right now, Ruffles, you gotta have a little bit better sales game going on, because until I see you drop the prices, I'm going other routes. All right. My other honorable mention, Tim's jalapenos, Tim's Cascade chips. I love the Tim's jalapenos because they do have good spice on them. Like the Kettle jalapeno chips, they're good, but they are not nearly as spicy when I'm looking for in a jalapeno chip like Tim's Cascades are. Those ones are just fantastic. You want to talk about crushing a bag in a sitting and then needing to just like chug some water afterwards because your mouth's on fire.
You have actual spice in those chips.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
it. But I put it as honorable mention because it's a jalapeno chip. Not everybody wants spice with their chip, so I left it on the outside of the 5. But my 5 goes as following. Now, this might be a hot take on this one at number 5. Sun Chips Harvest Cheddar.
No, that's
Not a
absolutely on
hot
my
take
list.
in this. Yeah.
Good, because
That's actually 3 on my list.
that is a fantastic chip.
They melt in your effing mouth.
I think the original flavor Sun Chip is like there's a lot to be desired there.
Just the original, like
Yeah,
they
it's
don't
like-
even salt it.
You're just eating a wheat chip at that
Yeah.
point, right? So the Harvest Cheddar, though, it takes it to a whole nother level. So they get on the 5. Again, even the other Sun Chip flavors, like none of them even come close. They have the like sun-dried tomato flavor or whatever. They have the
I'm right
sour
on that.
cream and onion. Again, they don't hold a candle to Harvest Cheddar.
No.
That is a top 5 chip for sure. Number 4. Now this one I feel like is like I was saying, a sneaky 12 seed that comes in and makes the final 4. Fritos Honey Barbecue Twists.
Those are really good.
Yeah.
Dude,
Fritos almost made my list. They didn't.
I remember the first time I had a Fritos Honey Barbecue Twist. I was in Pennsylvania. I was staying at my grandma's for the summer, and she had a bag sitting on her counter, and we asked, well, Grandma, what are these? She's like, oh, those are Fritos Honey Barbecue Twists. You want to try some? Life-changing experience.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, Grandma Judy, because you changed my life for the better with those Fritos Honey Barbecue
Chili
Twists.
cheese was almost on my list for Fritos. I love the
Chili
cheese
cheese.
Fritos.
Joey, I asked him the other day, I was like, have you ever tried a chili cheese Frito? And he's like, I don't think so. And I'm like, we're going to have to change that soon, because he said he didn't like Fritos. I was like, I get it. Fritos, like original ones,
That's the bottom of the bag.
that's
That's
pretty boring.
the booty bread.
You got to
Yeah.
add stuff to it.
Or throw it in a chili or something like
Exactly.
that.
Sure.
Or do you
yeah.
like that taco bag, Frito, whatever the
Frito
hell
pie.
thank you, Frito pie.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what that's called.
Fritos by themselves? Like if you're just eating Fritos raw,
That's
like,
weird.
You're a
Just
psychopath.
No,
Raw
the
dog and
whole
Fritos,
point
that's
is
weird.
the dip Fritos because they've got the whole the area
scoop
for the
ones,
dip.
yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, the big scoop ones. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Tostitos scoops.
Those
Oh
are
my
solid one there, too.
god.
Those are-
Hey,
those are clutch.
really quickly because I know that we're kind of running out of time, but the Tostitos lime hint chips, have you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
ever
Oh,
had those?
awesome.
That is a
There's
sneaky
no.
good
Don't
one
bring
too.
those. Don't bring Tostitos if you're not bringing those ones.
Well, because you can make nachos with those and they end up just
that's great.
sneaky good.
Number 3, Lay's sour cream and onion.
Yes.
I feel like that is the superior Lay's chip. I don't want to hear this barbecue mess. All right,
No.
It's sour cream and onion all day. Number 2, it's gonna be Cool Ranch because number 1 is Ruffles sour cream and cheddar.
I'm all right
That
with
is
that,
the
baby.
goat.
Yeah, mine's is a little bit different. Number 5, Hot Cheetos. Number 4, Smart Pop popcorn.
My wife's
100%.
favorite.
I
My
love it,
wife's
man.
favorite.
Joey would agree. He'd probably put that at number 1.
Hell yeah.
Harvest
Smart
Cheddar,
Pop.
Harvest Cheddar Sun Chips. The original Lay's at number 2.
Wow.
And then number 1 is obviously the GOAT, Cool Ranch Doritos.
Cool Ranch are my top as well.
I don't know, like Lay's to me, like Lay's classics, again, it's a classic, all right? It's an absolute legend. It's in the Hall of Fame. But if I'm in the chip aisle, it's not, I don't go for it.
Man,
like
salt is still the best flavor ever.
Hot take on the Lay's originals. They just break when you try to put them in dip at the party.
That's
you end up
true.
with half a chip, and
You
I feel
don't-
like
you don't
every
dip
other
those,
chip.
bro. You don't dip those,
but you have
man.
to because they don't
Yeah.
taste like anything.
Yeah, they taste like salt, which is what they're supposed to be.
I will say, though, just original Ruffles are Rashad 2 for 2 on the hook shot.
Damn.
Go. What a great, today's a good day.
I will say Ruffles or Lay's Wavy Original with some French onion
French
dip.
onion dip.
Oh, my
Goated.
God. That's a
Absolutely.
That is a 1-2 combo reminiscent of Jordan and Pippen right there.
Try the
That's the
bacon.
Kobe and Shaq of chips right there.
100%.
Try the bacon and chip dip from Reese's. Bacon and cheddar dip from Reese's. It's so good.
Well, now I'm hungry. Now I want some chips.
I got to go work out. We'll see.
Yeah, I was going to say, after all this calorie counting talk, now I want a
Tight.
whole bag of chips. Thank you for everybody that was listening in on your Memorial Day Sunday, spending it with us. Rashad Taylor, thank
My
you
man.
as always.
My man.
Jordan Schultz, thank you as always.
Love you guys. Love you all out there.
And all the listeners out there, everybody who served, and the people who are no longer with us, thank you. We will catch you all next Sunday right here on 1080 The Fan for Sports Sunday, next Sunday, 9 a.m. Peace.
Memorial Day weekend. You know what that means.
No work on Monday.